party. Like, I forgot what it was called, but it was like the big party that they do every year. And 1 year before I went, Puffy was like, you know what I'm saying? You moving and you successful and you having whatever you want. It's like somebody got to brace you. If you don't check yourself, you got to allow yourself to be checked.
So it looks like we're getting more juicy details on what's happening behind the closed doors of the most elite parties in the show business thrown by music mogul Diddy, and it's Snoop who exposes the wild things that the infamous producer is doing when he gets drunk. Apparently, Diddy has a history with strong drinks, and you won't believe the weird stuff Snoop Dogg had witnessed his friend doing.
Sometimes they will open the door. I'm right there by the door. Sometimes you see things you don't want to see.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live Channel. So it seems like Diddy is one step away from losing all his artists because of the recent shocking revelations. As Snoop Dogg recently shared with the media, Diddy's once popular shenanigans are being avoided by multiple celebs because it's dangerous to hang out with Puff and be around him when he's drinking. As the rapper said, Diddy enjoys doing private tours for special guests, and eventually, all the ways lead to the music mogul's bedroom. Well, if you ever heard about Diddy's wild outings, you may have probably been jealous and wanted to be a part of his parties. But as it turned out, this is not the safest place to be, and many prominent celebrities like 50 Cent tend to avoid spending their nights there. We all know how things can get wild at star-studded gathering, but as Snoop Dogg now says, Diddy's uncontrollable behavior is something that makes many people change their plans and avoid being around Diddy's house for weeks. Snoop Dogg has been in the industry for long enough to know the shady secrets, and he himself witnessed a lot of weird stuff during never-ending gatherings. And as he stated, there's no room for decency once Puffy began drinking. According to the rapper, the music mogul is turning into uncontrollable beast who neglects all rules and does the most unspeakable things with young male artists. There's been a lot of revelations about these parties by many other celebs, and the wild stories about how young male artists are being trapped into the infamous producer's lair to perform special favors for the music mogul in exchange for fame and a couple of albums. And it's not the first time when we hear about Diddy's true nature waking up after a few glasses of strong beverages.
This rapper and him, they all in the room together.
It looks like Diddy's love for experimenting and luring rappers into his bedroom with a bunch of toys is not news in the industry, and even his former bodyguard has a lot of stories to share. Gene Deal is done protecting his ex-boss's wild behavior, and he is no longer obliged to keep any secrets for the hip-hop producer. According to Gene Deal, Diddy's favorite activity is to lock himself in a room with another man, the full bar, and a bag of toys, and he once had been guarding the door behind which his then-boss was partying hard with another rapper. As he recalled that night, "I know that for a fact because I was right there." He said, "You, Gene, watch the door that don't let nobody come through." I said, "I'll watch the door, and if I watch the door, and if I watch the door, and him and a man ran out naked, and I said that, ain't nobody told me that. I saw that myself." But if you think that it was only a one-time thing, it looks like Diddy became less and less cautious with years, and more celebs walked on him being with men. And apparently, Snoop Dogg was one of these people, as he said he was standing right behind the door where Diddy was playing with another victim of his lust.
Hold on, we coming. Put the dope up there at the door.
While you could think that Diddy was there with women because of this established image as a womanizer, well, the truth is that all these kids and girlfriends are nothing more than just a cover, and several celebs saw Puffy's real intimate preferences with their own eyes. And as they say, it's going wild when the music mogul begins drinking, because at this point, he stops controlling himself and caring about the noise he's making.
And then sometimes you would hear a boo-boo-boo-boo, a thump or whatever the situation is and stuff like that.
This leaves a lot of questions about what can possibly be going on behind the doors of Diddy's bedroom. But as Snoop Dogg says, it's better not to imagine because he had witnessed it once and now tries to forget about the disturbing images of Puffy being with another man. However, many netizens are not surprised, and they say that Diddy doesn't need a glass or two to behave like that. As one person commented, being drunk is no excuse. When a person is drunk, that's the true person. They use being drunk as an excuse. And another user added, those demons in Diddy come to the surface when he drinks alcohol. And it seems like despite the multiple accusations, Diddy is not thinking of putting an end to this destructive habits, and it's already become his lifestyle. As Snoop Dogg claims, Diddy cannot imagine a week without a good bash. But apparently, people tend to avoid hanging out with the music mogul more and more. His behavior already became a reason for other celebs, like 50 Cent, joke about Puffy's drunk activities.
Damn, we got all this liquor, and y'all want Diddy to come to my room. He ain't even brought no Ciroc.
But even though Diddy's got all the money and influence, it seems like even these factors don't make people go to his house anymore or even dream about working with him. In the past, many other rappers shared their painful experience of working with Puffy and even mentioned the impossible clauses in their contracts. So if you believe that working with Diddy is once in a lifetime opportunity, think again, because there are many Bay Boy artists who can share the truthful version of having a business with Puffy. His mentorship can be filled with shameful activities, dangerous, and even lethal. Rapper Mace expressed his share of woes when he said that, according to contract, he was basically enslaved by the infamous producer. This is not black excellence at all, when our own race is enslaving us. If it's about us owning, it can't be about us owning each other. No more hiding behind love. And although Mace only shared the financial details of his contract with Puffy, it seems like there is more to this story, and the evidence can be found in the secret drawer of Diddy's bedroom.
And I'm not going to go back and forth with Mace, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going back and forth with nobody. I'm just going to, if I'm here, I'm going to speak up for myself. I'm going to speak up for myself now.
It seems like the news of Diddy's guilty pleasure spread like a wildfire, and more artists are now trying to find an excuse not to attend his lavish parties or avoid ending up at the same bash with the music mogul. Another rapper, Fabolous, shared his own story of being chased by Diddy when the infamous producer kept inviting him to the after party against his will. Fab took to his social media and wrote, "You ever got peer pressured into going to the afties? You really want to go home or back to the room, but you don't want to be the turn down to the turn up?" Later, he confessed to a pretty funny encounter with Diddy, who had him partying into the next morning. And according to Fab, everything eventually started to lead to ending up with Diddy alone. And although Diddy was drunk at that moment, he clearly remembered this episode, and he even confronted the rapper about that night, making him pretty uncomfortable.
Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really partied.
Diddy is known for his insane partying lifestyle and even forcing artists to share bed with him. So Fabolous wanting to get out of there and go home safe makes sense. However, Fab had no idea that the music mogul likes his toy boys to be unreachable and complicated, and it seems like he didn't give up hopes of having a nice private party with Fab.
Man, I like people that's unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? I like different personalities. So I was like,
Well, it seems like Snoop Dogg has all the reasons to warn other rappers about the possible consequences of partying with Diddy, because once he begins drinking, he's turning into a beast who cannot control his desires and even speak.
did you miss me though? For real, because it seems like a thing.
I
with
miss
this
partying
birthday
with
party.
Puff, man.
But it seems like, despite Snoop Dogg's warnings, Diddy can easily find himself more victims to party until new exposure, and that's why many people on the internet are worried about young artists who want to sign a deal with Diddy, the devil. As one person commented, you better know and ask yourself, do I want to be in music? Stuff like this happens in any type of entertainment if you let it happen. And another user added, they need to stop attending those parties. They will regret it and change their lives, and not for the better. Apparently, more people need to speak out. Otherwise, the majority of artists will remain in the darkness about Diddy's ugly activities when he's drinking. And what do you think about this, guys? Why Diddy's shameful behavior is kept secret by so many celebs, and will more people expose his true nature? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to know what you're thinking. And in the meantime, check my other videos about the ugly side of the show business. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned